Okay, today we're going to do a crash course, masterclass, whatever you want to call it, in this episode on metabolism. So, I talk to women about their metabolism because your metabolism changes in menopause. And one of the things that I think we have kind of a misunderstanding about as women moving into menopause is that menopause, and more specifically our metabolism, is only a physical issue. It's about, we have this perception that it's about our metabolism slowing down, if you will, as we get older, and therefore we retain more of the calories that we're taking in with our food. We retain more of those as fat rather than those calories being turned into energy. And that is true. That is absolutely true. That is part of why we struggle with gaining weight or having a hard time losing weight when we move into perimenopause and menopause. But that's not all that's happening. This is not just a physical issue. It's an emotional, it's a psychological, it's a mental issue, if you will. So our metabolism and therefore menopause is both physical and mental. And while that is very complicated and the way to a solution is very complex, in other ways, it's pretty simple and it's pretty easy to understand how we can affect change in a positive way, both with our physique, our physical body, and how we feel, our mental health, because all of that is affected. All of that plays a role in how we're feeling as we get older. So let me kind of back up. So, as we move into perimenopause and menopause, what is actually happening is our body hormonally and metabolically is changing. And a lot of things kind of show up, rear their ugly head as that happens, right? I've already talked about the weight gain, and that's one that pains us a great deal because we're going into our closet, our clothes are not fitting, we're recognizing that fat and weight gain is kind of depositing itself around the midsection, right? It's affecting, like, our arms are getting flabbier. We're kind of having that back fat issue around the bra strap area, kind of the flanks issue, right? The like pudge over the top of our jeans. And because that's such a physically prominent issue, and we look in the mirror and we see it, like automatically we start to recognize how our body is changing, then it feels like that's the biggest part of the issue. And I'm not minimizing that struggle. Lord knows you've seen photos of me and I struggled with that same thing. And it affects our mood, it affects our stress levels, it affects our self-esteem, it affects our confidence. All of those things can be impacted by those physical changes. But at the same time, we are emotionally and psychologically being affected because those physical changes that we're recognizing, one being the weight gain, things like your sleep being disrupted, hot flashes during the day and at night, your energy levels decreasing, that constant sort of fatigue feeling that you're having. And I could go on and on, right? So those are just some of the more known kinds of struggles and symptoms, if you will, of menopause. But some of the lesser known things are itchy skin, rashes, really the brain fog that we talk about, the forgetfulness, those, and again, that list can go on. At the same time, internally, a lot of changes are occurring driven by these hormonal changes. And let me kind of pause here too and say that most often when we think about menopause and we talk about hormones, we immediately jump to sex hormones, progesterone, estrogen, testosterone, and absolutely menopause affects those hormones. That's how we oftentimes, those are the markers that even doctors look for. They do it, you go in, you start complaining of these things, they take a look at our age, And they go, okay, well, those things all match up. Let me do some hormone testing. The problem is, those are not the only hormones that are changing in our body during this stage in life. There are a host of other hormones that are being impacted. And most recently, we're hearing more about cortisol, and definitely that is one. But there are hunger hormones, there are satiety hormones, there are a number of other hormones outside of the sex hormones that are playing a role in all of this that's happening with us physically and mentally. And there's some real misunderstanding about that connection. But let me say this, and part of the reason that I want to talk with you about this is because I don't think that the other than physical issues around menopause and complications around menopause are, they're neither known enough about nor are they addressed. Okay. Most women, when I talk to you, you often tell me, well, you're going to your doctor and your doctor's going to run or has run a hormone panel. And oftentimes, many of you will also tell me that, or he did run a hormone panel and he said that things look quote unquote normal, that my sex hormones have changed, but they're in the quote unquote normal range for my age. And so sometimes they will give you pharmaceutical kinds of solutions. And I'm, again, quote marks around that, because all of those medications that they're giving you, it can be antidepressants, it can be anti-anxiety meds, it can be a thyroid medication, it can be HRTs, hormone replacement therapy that comes in a variety, creams. All of those things are attempts to try to help you manage the symptoms. They may even give you, for example, a medication that he'll tell you might help you with hot flashes, to try to reduce hot flashes. And you've probably seen a number of commercials on television about those kinds of pharmaceuticals. But again, they're only addressing some of the physical symptoms, if they help at all, that you're having. They're not changing your menopause. You're still going through this transitional process. And the reason that's important is because those attempts to help you with those symptoms are not doing anything on a metabolic level. They're symptomatic solutions, or not solutions. I say that with take that with a grain of salt, because they don't help. Even a lot of women report that they try those medications and it doesn't really help to do anything to alleviate their symptoms. But again, even if they do help, they're only helping you address some of the symptomatic kinds of struggles. They're not doing anything to address menopause or the changes that you're seeing on a metabolic level. And that is definitely part of why I do what I do. Because when women come to me, when you say, I'm having all of these struggles and I want to lose weight, and we put a solution in place, we are working on a metabolic level. But again, while that's going to help you to lose weight, it's going to help to alleviate a lot of the fatigue, the low energy, the night sweats, the brain. It's going to help you with those things. It is also helping you metabolically with your brain function. Because again, this is both a body and a brain issue. That's where I think the huge misunderstanding is. Again, that's where I think the big gap is in the medical field in terms of helping women through menopause. We don't address this from a brain perspective. And let me give you a little bit in context and ask you some questions here, because some of you might be listening to this and thinking, this is a physical thing. It's not a brain thing. There's nothing wrong with my brain. Your metabolism is definitely physical, right? There are all kinds of things that affect your metabolism, the amount of activity that you're having, your age, the environment that you're in, the amount of sleep that you get, the food that you eat. You've heard those things, and you've probably even Googled trying to find solutions for what's going on. And so you know this. You know that if you don't get enough sleep, that can, affect you physically. And we have a general understanding now, those of us who Google search and try to figure all of this out, we have a general understanding of the connection between menopause, metabolism, and the physical kinds of things that are going on. You know that if you eat healthier, if you move, and specifically talking about eating healthier, you tell me all the time, I know I need to eat more protein. Well, I don't know how much, I know I need to eat more. So there are dietary changes that you can make that will affect your menopause, your metabolism, and affect you physically, right? Well, how does it make any sense that if what you eat can affect your metabolism and affect your physical changes, how does it make sense that that doesn't also affect your brain, right? Your brain is part of your body. It's an organ in your body, like your heart is an organ in your body. When you eat better food, your heart is healthier. Then why doesn't it make sense, or why don't we understand and take it the next step to understand that when we eat healthy food, our brain is healthier? When we make change to affect our physical, it is going to affect our mental, right? Now, I am not advocating that everything that someone is struggling with from a mental health perspective can be miraculously cured by changing what they eat, but it can damn sure be impacted in a positive way. There are all kinds of medications that doctors use that I am not anti-pharmaceutical by any means, but I think that we jump way too soon and way too much into pharmaceutical fixes and rely on those to be solutions when at best they should just be a part of the larger approach to affecting us in a positive way, physically and mentally. Okay, so hear me very clearly on that. We also know, kind of side note here, but very related, we also have enough information in the last several years, and we've done enough, research again on our own, and we listen to the podcast and we read the things, right? So we know that there is definitely a connection between our brain and our gut health, right? Well, that's just another example of how if our gut health can be improved and there's a connection between our brain and our gut, then our brain health, our mental health can be improved as we heal our gut. Now, the reason that I am being so emphatic about this today, and I wanted to do this episode about this, is because I'm having more and more conversations with you all where you are focused on those physical struggles and you want to impact those physical struggles in a positive way, and you understand that that's about what you eat and how you move and how much sleep you get and the stress in your life. But there seems to be a little bit of a wall or a barrier or resistance to understanding how there needs to be a multi-pronged approach. This is also when you do those things, when we put an entire comprehensive solution in place, we're talking about impacting and affecting your mental health as well. That's why when you eat in a healthy way and you make, especially if you make customized changes that are individual to your body's needs and to your health needs and to all of those things, especially when you do that, you will report to me, clients tell me this all the time. I am much more clear-headed. My mood swings are either getting so much better or they have improved. I'm happier. I feel more rested when I wake up, and my brain can function more optimally in the morning. I'm not hitting snooze 5 times. Women who work with me in our 12-week program become believers relatively quickly. But I do think when I talk to women who come to me for advice and who come to me about our 12-week program, there still seems to be a little bit of resistance about the connection between the physical and the mental, and about the need to address the mental as much as, or the mindset, if you want to think about it that way, as much as the physical. I've said it a million times, and I will beat this horse as long as I am here. This is not just a physical struggle. This is a physical, it's an emotional, it's a mental struggle, it's a mindset struggle. And we have to put all of the puzzle pieces in place for us to optimally function physically and mentally. So, what does that mean? I want you to take away a couple of really tactical tips from this episode too. One is, and please hear me loud and clearly, and there's tons of research that I can point you to on this. If you want to read kind of the nerdy side of this, definitely reach out and I will give you some links and other podcasts that you can listen to, and links to articles and really solid research that you can read about this. But outside of that, one of the things that I will tell you is be open to how there is a connection between the mental and the physical. And this is menopause, and the issues going on with your metabolism are not just physical. And when you accept that and you start to make some change, you can be open to healing not just your gut, not just your body, but your brain as well. And with that, you're healing your mindset. And with that, all of your thought processes and everything, life will just seem so much easier when you get the mind and the body kind of in alignment in that way. Okay. I'm going to tell you like tips that you've probably heard a million times, but maybe if you've opened yourself up to accepting that this is both a mental and a physical struggle, and something that you can definitely positively impact by your own decision to do so and taking some action-oriented steps, then you will open yourself up to having and receiving those positive results, okay, mentally and physically. So again, practical steps. After you've opened your mind to that and you've started to accept that you don't need another pill, you need to attack this with things that you have very much within your control, then baby steps into that. Absolutely start with what you eat, even if that just means foregoing drinking your calories, foregoing the sodas, foregoing some alcoholic beverages, foregoing the energy drinks, and including more water in your day. That is a great first step. Then look at the kinds of foods that you're eating. And definitely, I would say 90+% of the women that I talk to need to increase the intake of protein in their diet. And I don't care if you're vegan, vegetarian, or not. I don't care if you like to lean toward a plant-based diet, or you are more, you're open to eating meat and you eat a lot of meat. Whatever approach to food you take, you can definitely get more protein in your body. Try to get lean, great quality sources. The better you do this in terms of the food that you're taking in, rather than with products and pills and powders, the better the result will be. Okay. I know there's some supplementation that I'm not at all against some supplementation. And I work with women in our 12-week program are super busy, and I will recommend some things for them to supplement to increase their protein. But just out there in, general day to day, when you're trying to make some general changes, try to make them from a food base. Try to increase your protein at the food level first, right? The kind of food that you're eating in a very natural way. So increasing your protein. Most of the time, for most of you, that's also going to include kind of trying to attend to the kind of carbohydrates that you're eating. I am not one of these to say restrict carbs, don't eat carbs, but I think I absolutely know there's a lot of benefit to be gained by looking at the types of carbohydrates that you're taking in and eating more healthier kinds of carbs than the unhealthier kinds, which is what a majority of people are taking in. So making a little bit of a adjustment. Another thing that you can do is for most women, and again, I would have to talk to you to give you one-on-one solid advice about things that you can do for your body, which is absolutely what you need if you are looking at a long-term solution and you really want to make a transformation. General tips like this are not going to transform your life. I give them, and there are women who message me and say, I followed your tips and I lost 6 pounds, 8 pounds, 10 pounds. I feel better. That's amazing. And I love it. And if that's where you are and you just need to make some minor changes in your life to get you a little bit of a start on getting healthier, by all means, please listen to my tips. And there are lots of other people out there who give great tips. You can Google it and find a million wonderful beginning kinds of tips. But you're not going to transform your life with these few tips that I'm giving you or anyone else's. I just want to put that disclaimer there because I think it's very transparent. And I wish more kinds of health coaches and people in this wellness industry would be open and honest and direct about that. You will not change your life by stopping the Cokes that you drink or increasing protein. You need individual kinds of customized help to make a true sustainable major transformation in your life. But having said all of that and beaten that horse for the last 30 seconds to a minute, definitely look at the kind of carbs that you're eating. And the next thing I was going to tell you is increase for many of you, women, perimenopausal, menopausal, and postmenopausal, many of you could really increase the healthy fats that you're taking in. And that's controversial. It's something that you don't hear often from health coaches like me, women in the weight loss industry, helping other women to lose weight and change their physique and improve their health. You're not going to hear a lot of women say increase your fats. But and I was personally resistant to doing that because the age that I am, cutting fats, going on a low fat diet, I lost a lot of weight doing that when I was younger. And so fats were like, the devil, and to my way of thinking. But the more that I have learned about our metabolism and how our hormones work at this transitional stage in life, and the more expertise and experience that I have with both my own body and health, mental and physical, and in helping thousands of women, the more I understand that increasing healthy fats can definitely be a part of the puzzle of this solution for you. The key is healthy fats and knowing how to increase them strategically so that it actually works in combination with the other kinds of changes that you're making in your diet so you can get the result that you want. So making dietary changes, first and foremost, if you do nothing else, make some dietary changes, make some hydration changes, work on managing your stress. That is so vitally important. I can't say it enough. Work on getting better sleep, not just longer sleep. If you get shitty sleep and you sleep 10 hours, that doesn't really help you any, right? I'm talking about getting quality sleep, the kind of sleep that is restful and restorative. And there are some specific things that you can do in your day-to-day life that can help with the quality of sleep that you get. But if nothing else, go to bed 15 minutes earlier than you have been. That when you make changes on that level and you can actually get better quality sleep, you're going to help with your menopause symptoms. You're also going to help with that energy, that fatigue, that the low energy and the fatigue that you're feeling. And a lot of women also will ask me, and I'm going to give you this tip here. They'll say, well, I'm getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Like, do I need more? How do I know if I need more sleep? One of the simplest ways that you can use a sort of a test that you can use to figure out if you're getting more sleep is, how do you get up in the morning? When your alarm goes off, or if you're one of the people that, get up without an alarm, ask yourself, like, when I open my eyes in the morning, is my first thought, "Ooh, I feel good, I'm ready to get up," or is my first thought, "Oh my God, I need more sleep. Oh my gosh, I've got to hit the snooze button." That is a great test as to whether your sleep is restorative or not. If you're feeling like I could sleep all day, I can't get up, if you're having struggles getting out of bed in the morning, then you're not getting quality sleep. I don't care how many hours you've been in the bed, you're not getting quality sleep. So sleep, stress, your food, your hydration, your movement, and you don't have to work out. I'm telling you, you do not have to work out. Like formal workouts are like a next step. That is not, I don't even start, women in my 12-week program don't even start with workouts. You've heard me talk about 20 to 25-minute workouts. They do that. In general, that is an approach. We will implement the right on time, right kind of workouts for you if you come to me with certain goals. But I'll tell you, week one, working with me, you're not going to do formal work. I'm not going to give you formal workouts. We've got to assess where you are. And for many of you, we need to change the movement that's in your life. If you're not working with me or anyone else, here's something that you can start with that will be phenomenal for you in terms of exercise. Walk for 10 minutes after you eat. It can impact the quality and how your body is using the quality nutrition that you're giving it. It can impact your sleep. It can impact your energy. It can impact so many things, your digestive system. It can help to balance your blood sugar. It can do amazing things for you. Start with a 10-minute walk after you eat. Do that a couple of times a day, and you've just doubled or even tripled the positive impact of the walk that you're taking. So I'm going to stop there. Those are some really good baby steps that you can take. But go back to the beginning of what I said in this episode. This is not just about food and fitness. It's not just about physically changing your body. It's about a whole approach, a solution that's comprehensive, that absolutely needs to address and can improve your mindset, your emotions, the psychology of what's going on in your brain. It is a brain and body connected type of solution that I offer women. And if you want to talk to me about that solution to see if it's a good fit for you, I'm absolutely willing to get one-on-one with you on the phone, hear about what's going on with you, and I will tell you straight up whether what I do can help you or I don't think it can. There's no reason for me to bring you into my world and waste my time in yours if what we do can't help you. I've got plenty of women who we can help who want this help. So it's not advantageous for me to say, oh yeah, what I do can help you, and then it not help you. So I don't do that. All right. But if you want to talk to me, definitely reach out to me. It's best, the very quickest way that you can get a hold of me and get a response from me is to go into your DMs on Instagram, or if you're on Facebook, send me a private message and just say, hey, listen to your podcast. I really want to talk to you about whether you can help me with my struggles. We're humans. Just send me a human communication and we'll have a human conversation. Two women talking, and I will listen to you. And if nothing else in that conversation, if you get nothing else from it, you'll get a few pieces of advice from me that are individual to you, not just general tips like I just gave in this episode, but I'll give you a couple of things that you can take action on that will positively impact you, that will help with the struggles that you're having, to alleviate some of those and to make you feel a little bit better. And potentially, if what I do is a good fit for you, we might even work with you. I might offer you a spot in our 12-week program. And if you make that decision to work with us, then you will absolutely make a transformation that you'll look back on and think, I really wish I had reached out to her sooner. This was the best investment of time and energy and action in my life that I've ever made. And you'll feel amazingly wonderful. So if that's you, if you would like to chit chat, send me a message. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this episode. But please, please, please know that this is not just physical. It's absolutely a brain and body connected type of struggle. And there's absolutely a brain and body connected type of solution that can do amazingly wonderful things in your life. Thanks so much, as always, for being here with me and chit-chatting with me. And I hope to see you back here next time.